So a Higonokami is a traditional Japanese folding pocket knife, and compared to a kitchen knife, it has quite a thick and narrow blade with a very obvious and distinct primary bevel. Now there are two different ways of sharpening these knives, and I'm going to explain both to you now. Firstly, the standard method is the same as you'd use for a kitchen knife. So use whetstones to create a secondary bevel, and the finer the whetstones, the sharper the edge. You can also use a honing rod on a Higonokami. The only question is what angle to sharpen at, and I asked Mr. Nagao, who makes the knives, this question. He said it actually varies as the knives are handmade. However, I've estimated that the primary bevel on a Higonokami with a 7cm blade is at 17 degrees each side. That means in order to create a secondary bevel, you want to increase this by a few degrees. So my recommendation is to sharpen at between 20 and 23 degrees each side. The second method is called a Scandi grind, also known as a V or a flat grind. You put the entire surface of the primary bevel on the whetstone and grind it down until the secondary bevel is completely gone. As the primary bevel doesn't start completely flat, you'll need to keep going until it is flat. That requires quite a bit of work and a coarse whetstone or diamond plate. The final result with this grind is sharper, but the edge isn't as durable, and it's certainly a lot harder to maintain. If you keep going with a progression of finer and finer whetstones, you can get a nice mirrored bevel. To be honest, this is probably more trouble than it's worth, so I recommend you stick to the standard method.